I had major lung surgery, which made life-changing situation to me. I ended up having about a month in hospital and I had part of my lung removed. I had the choice of going, I'm going to throw it in. Sounds really stupid, what am I doing? To actually, let's reevaluate and let's do what we can with what we've got. I don't think it ever crossed my mind that I'm not going to get out. Like I said, trying to put my shoes on and my socks on, I thought I'm not having someone do that for me. I've got to do it myself, and each day it got better. And once I got over, it didn't matter that I was at the end, didn't matter that I'd finished last or whatever, I'd actually completed. So that became my main focus.
Welcome to this week's episodes, and what a treat we've got for you today. We have Northampton Park runner Kathy Saunders. We're walking about social distancing in the snow. You'd laugh if you saw what we look like. But without further ado, Kathy, let us know how your running tale began.
Back in school, I was a county champion, and I ran with Bristol Athletics Club, and used to train back in the day with someone called Nick Rose, who was a great athlete.
Wow, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so, when we went down to the track and we were doing our efforts, he joined us and made us feel pretty special when he was doing like his warm down or his warm up. Wanted to aspire to him, to be like him. And about 2 years ago, I then re-met him. We're starting the Severn Bridge 10k.
Yeah.
And I said hello, and it was great to meet him again after all these years.
Wow, so to let our listeners know roughly, just give us a rough age how old you are now. I know it's rude to ask the exact age, but if you can give a rough age so people know. How many decades we're talking?
5 decades.
How
about
decades?
That? Yeah, 5 decades. I'm actually, I'm proud of that, that I started back on my kind of running journey in my mid-40s. I'd done the county championship stuff and doing cross-country in Wales and Bristol and the southwest, and then life got in the way, and I hadn't run really from being quite poorly in my 30s and having a leg injury in my 20s. So I then thought, right, I'll see what I can do, and I did the couch to 5 in Milton Keynes in my 40s. I wanted to be fit, so that's when my running journey kind of restarted.
So if we can go back to like the health, the series, because you had a major operation in 2017.
I did.
Can you share with us?
I had major lung surgery, which kind of made life-changing situation to me. I ended up having about a month in hospital, and I had part of my lung removed, my right lung removed, so they kind of stuck it back together with whatever they had left. So I'm kind of 1.5 lung runner.
But you didn't. What I find amazing about you, and why I wanted to get you on Running Tales, is the fact that you was not going to let this stop you running, and as soon as you could, you was out walking to build up your running again. And within, this was 3 years ago, because we're talking in January 2021 at the moment, but you was like booking yourself on 10Ks here and there. You attended one of my Step Forward Lewis Fartlek sessions because you wanted to be back running again.
I did. I think the thing that made me get out was the fact I couldn't it might sound a bit daft, but I couldn't put my shoes and socks on after I came out of hospital for quite a while. And I thought, I don't want to be living like this. I'm going to have to try and do something about my life. And so little by little I tried to put my shoes on, put my socks on, and try and get back to a kind of normal life. And I suppose once I'd been able to do that, I thought I need to be able to get out. I had the 2 choices. I could either walk, run badly, or not at all. And so the option was to get out and walk. And, walking from one lamppost to another was a challenge. And I look back on where I was, maybe at Northampton Park Run, and I could see, one lamppost, and I think I could get there. I remember when I came, was on my recuperation, and I was helping at the Northampton Park run with you, actually, and I think I was being timekeeper, and we had to walk down to the start, and I remember how long it took me to actually just walk from the car to the start and get the timekeeping equipment, and then walking to say hello to the runners. And it took me most of that time to get back to the finish, ready for when the runners came back. And it took me most of that time, and the runners were already coming back. So when I look at the journey from not being able to walk very much and not being able to breathe properly like everyone else, and then I look at the journey after that, and it's moved a long way from there.
So talking about Park Run just there, at the end of 2019, before Park Run more or less stopped, you managed to squeeze in your 250th Park Run at Salsey Forest. How was that to think, wow, that's a big milestone?
It was a big milestone. It was. I'm going to do that one on my 55th birthday. So I kind of celebrated that birthday weekend by going, I'm feeling better, feeling fitter, because it took about 18 months to recover from the actual pain from the surgery and trying to get fit. And then I thought, well, let's mark the next big birthday, the 55, with getting the park run. So I did.
And it was lovely because you had loads of people that came and joined you and congratulated you afterwards on social media.
I did. I had. I'm part of Parklands Jog and Run, and they've been brilliant since I joined them. And I remember speaking to Chris Lamb, who's kind of the main coach there, and I just said to him, look, this is what's happened to me. Can I join? And he just went, we're very inclusive, and they've looked after me, since I joined them.
Yeah, we had Chris on Running Tales podcast back at the beginning of 2020, so listen to that episode if you haven't already. Going back to you, and you were saying about how after your operation in 2017 with your lungs, it's all about, you spoke about how you wanted to get back and what you did, but what was the advice of the consultants when you said, right, I'm going to go back running and I'm going to aim to do at least, a half marathon at such and such a time? Did they have a heart attack?
Well, they kind of, whenever they came round on the ward, they used to just say, and here's the one long half marathon runner, because obviously I've been trying to keep fit with having the lung that had, collapsed and that had damaged and everything prior to going into hospital. So I did say to them, am I allowed to go back? Can I run again? And they did look at me with a bit of concern, but
who is this nutty woman? I'm sure it's popular.
But then, they said that people can go out and keep fit, and you've got to use your muscle as best you can and look after it and listen to your body. So when I'm listening to my body, I can jog, I call it jeffing these days, and I had to learn to accept that I couldn't do what I'd done before. And I learnt that when I tried to do the Silverstone 10k a couple of years ago. And
was this after the operation?
This is after the operation. I think it was 2018 maybe. Yeah, it must have been then. And it started in the daytime and it ended up being, this is quite late at night, and it took me about an hour and a half. I thought, who am I kidding? What am I actually doing?
Yeah.
I'm not a runner. I'm still recovering. So I then had to go back for another check with the consultant, and their comments were, what have you done this week? And I went, well, I did a park run, and then I'd gone to Birmingham and done a 10k, and then 2 days later I'd gone to do the evening Silverstone 10k, and they went, do you think you might have overdone it a bit? I went, no, I could do that. No, But it's only a year ago. You've still got another, half a year, 2 years to recover. So take it easy. I had the choice of going, I'm going to throw it in. It sounds really stupid. What am I doing? To actually, okay, let's reevaluate and let's do what we can with what we've got. And I think that was my lesson about I don't need to be proving anything in terms of a time. I can prove it to me that I can complete. And it's all about the completion, not the actual time factor. And once I got over, it didn't matter that I was at the end, didn't matter that I'd finished last or whatever, I'd actually completed. So that became my main focus, that you take part or you don't.
So would you say you've lost that competitive edge that you had before then, or just...
It's a different kind of competition. It's a competition of I've put myself forward to have a go at an event, and I'm going to compete it.
Whatever time, you don't care.
Not anymore now, no. But that's been my life journey of going. It doesn't matter, and I've learned that it's okay to not try and do what you did when you had two lungs, and don't forget that I'm mid-50s, so I'm not going to get those times that I had when I was a child.
Yes.
So it's been a lifelong journey.
When you had two lungs, what was your distance up until that point that you had done? Have you done a marathon? Have you done an ultra?
Half a marathon. I knew, because of my knee surgery when I was in my 30s, second knee surgery, that half a marathon was going to be my achievement, and I was happy to accomplish that. And I did. I thought, right, I'm going to get fit, and that's when I started the Couch to 5. I did the Edinburgh half marathon to celebrate my 50th birthday. That was my first half.
Oh wow! Your first half on your 50th. Yeah. Oh wow! Okay.
About 2 months for my 50th. Yeah.
Brilliant, big challenge. So then, when did the situation with your lungs start happening?
I didn't know, actually. I just thought, I'm feeling tired and maybe it's work. And someone said to me, I think you sound like you've got a bit of asthma. Can you just get yourself checked out? And the weekend before, I'd gone with some girlfriends, and we'd gone to do the Draycott 10 mile.
Okay, yeah.
And I thought, I'm quite tired here. It took me about 2 and a bit hours, and I'm thinking, I'm a bit tired. So by Tuesday, I was in hospital.
Wow.
Pretty much, to cut a long story short. And they tried to pumping a tyre up. They tried to pump the lung up, but it had been damaged because it had collapsed, kind of called a pneumothorax, but it had actually collapsed and had some damage a few days earlier. They don't actually know when it had actually happened, so I could have been like that for quite a while.
Do they know what the root cause was?
No. They have kind of regular reasons for it, like being male, being tall, and in your 20s.
Which is not you.
No, I thought I fitted all of them. I don't know what the problem was, but it was unexplained. They couldn't tell me why or what and how it happened.
Did you think the running, because you was...
I did say, is it to do with running? And they went, no.
Oh.
I said, is it to do with stress? And they went, no.
So it could be just
it could be
where your body is?
Yeah. I said, am I overweight? And they went, no, you've got a good resting heart rate as well. So they kind of took away all those things and went, we don't know. So the process of elimination didn't actually reveal why or what or how it happened.
You was in hospital, a month later you come out. How long was it till you was able to walk again and start building up to that first mile?
Well, when I came out of hospital, it was late April, I think, and I then had to go for a check-up, and I had a secondary infection which put it back again. So I had to go back to Leicester. Glenfield Hospital I went to, the heart and lung hospital, so I was transferred by ambulance, nice blue lights and all that, to Leicester. And I then had to go back because the infection where the chest drains, where they had to go in and do what they do to repair, caused an infection. So then that kind of delayed the recovery. And I remember saying to my husband Tim that I'm going to miss seeing the bluebells. So he found some bluebells in the May time, kind of mid-May, because they kind of go by then, don't they?
Yes.
And we were able to get to them. And I remember it taking about a good 2 hours to walk, I don't know, maybe 100 yards, 300 yards, something like that. But it took a long time to walk. And when we were doing my recovery at Selsey Forest, and I remember doing like the short walk, I think it's called the elephant walk. It's about 3/4 of a mile.
Yes.
I wasn't able to do the whole thing to begin with, and I remember thinking the slope past the where the treetop walk is.
Yes.
It took so long because it felt like a mountain, and obviously I didn't have enough capacity, and there's still scar tissue and damage and swelling and everything, and it took a long time to just walk.
So,
and not be able to talk either, because the effort to try and walk
took all the oxygen for everything else in your body. You did start walking straight away. Was it mental? How did you cope mentally through all this? Because running, I take it, does help you.
I think, people's mental well-being, getting out like we're doing right now in the snow.
Social distancing with a mic in your face, people looking, going, totally what is going on?
I don't think it ever crossed my mind that I'm not going to get out as such. Like I said, trying to put my shoes on and my socks on, I thought I'm not having someone do that for me. I've got to do it myself, and each day it got better. And I think the focus of getting fit helped with the well-being. And I think my only big down day was when I thought, who am I kidding, when I did that one in Silverstone. And after that, it's like, well, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
So it was your mindset that's helped you get through the run since then?
Yeah, it has.
You're doing these 10,000 steps a month challenge, or a 10,000 steps a day challenge, and you've got, you showed me yesterday via Zoom the amount of medals just from doing this challenge. What made you start doing this? Is this part of your recovery? Yeah,
it was ongoing. I mean, it was last year at the running show. I thought 10,000 steps every day. Some people do that anyway, but I thought it would help me. The more I do, the better I feel. And it was kind of a nice challenge to go for, to do it for a year. How many days in a month can you do 10,000 steps? And the majority of the months so far, I've managed to do probably about 20 out of the days, 3/4 I think, and some of them, especially with lockdown, May, June, July, August, I've managed to do that
every day.
And now we're back on lockdown, I'm back to doing it. So December I managed probably about 20 out of the 31 days, and at the moment we're on day 24. I haven't got far to go to get the 10,000 steps. Plus I'm doing the Red January, which is run every day in January, or walk every day. If I can't run when it's too cold, like we are today, then I walk.
Are the consultants, I take it you're having regular checkup, are the consultants happy with your progress and the fact that you have been doing these walking, or are you not having as much contact with the consultants?
I don't have the contact like I had, but if I need to, I have their number, which is very handy. And I think I've only phoned them 2 or 3 times in 3 years. The one time was when I'd overdone it, but I needed them to probably tell me that. And obviously with the situation we're in at the moment, people are saying, are you vulnerable? Well, I'm probably more prone than other people, but they said I'm not vulnerable. They've just said you carry on with your life as normal.
So getting back to racing, what's your favourite 10k?
I have a couple from last year. I enjoyed going over the Severn Bridge because that's my hometown. So you go from England to Wales, and last year, due to COVID, it was a little bit quieter, but the weather was amazing. And the year before, I'd run from Wales to England, so over the Severn Bridge. So I really enjoyed that one, and I enjoyed the 10k at Alexandra Palace last year. If you'd said to me 3 years ago you'd be doing that one, and it's really, really hilly, I'd be going, oh, I can't do that one.
But you did.
But I did.
There's no stopping you now. You sound like you're like fully, your lungs are at full capacity, even though you've got 1.5 or
Whatever's in there, yeah.
whatever's left. Half marathons. We know you're at half marathon distance. What's your favourite one?
What, post-surgery or before?
Just overall.
Well, my favourite would be, my biggest achievement would be Edinburgh, because that's my first one. And I suppose in a way I come full circle from doing the Milton Keynes half, because the last time I did it 5 years ago I wasn't very well then for a number of reasons, so maybe that was the start of it. And I enjoyed it last December because I don't put any time pressure on myself. I get out, it's 13 miles, whether you walk, jog, you're in a wheelchair, whatever it is, it's still completing that distance. I enjoyed an 8-kilometre run to mark my birthday, 55. We went to Amsterdam and we really enjoyed that one. It's like, well, because you can, so why not? Another memorable 10K was Disneyland Paris.
You met Paula Radcliffe, didn't you?
I met Paula Radcliffe, and that was an amazing time as well, just to get out there and do, and then meet a wonderful, human being like her.
And did you have the chance to actually have a proper conversation, or was it like, hello, can I have my selfie with you and bye?
It was kind of a proper conversation, but very short. So, and she had time for everybody, and that was really good to watch that. So yeah, she was a wonderful human being.
So you're one of those runners that I see on Facebook that tends to find a race, virtual or actual, with your bling, full on with your big smile. I have to ask, do you race because of the race, or are you a bling addict?
No, I'm not a bling addict, I promise. I do it because I see it and think I can do it while I'm able. Then I think that was my part of my life journey after, the surgery. It makes you reevaluate what you can and cannot do.
So what tip would you give to anyone thinking of starting running?
Do it. That's it, do it. It always starts with a single step, and you put one foot in front of the other, and when you get knockbacks, don't let it stop you. Like you got two journeys, haven't you? You've got the one that you kind of don't carry on, or you take the road less travelled and you keep going.
On that note, we'll finish your running tale. Thank you, Kathy.